Hi you guys, good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I hope that wherever you guys are having a wonderful day. I thought that this week I would do a different type of video just because I have been having a couple people ask me this question and I actually was wanting to make a video all about this anyways. So I thought we would do that today. So this week it's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna do more of a story time sit down video and I'm gonna talk to you guys about why I ended up moving from California, from LA, from the US to Mallorca, Spain, and we're gonna get into all of it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you do, hit the like button. Also subscribe to my channel. I put out videos for you guys every single week, so make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos from me. Also, if you guys have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section because I will respond to you guys. And yeah, you guys, just a couple things. I'm filming this in the kitchen because the lighting just seems to be the best here. And then what else? They are doing construction around here, so if you do hear like noises, I do apologize. It's just because there's construction. And lastly, you guys, I have a little, what is this called? Lacao. This is the Mallorcan, typical Mallorcan chocolate milk that they sell here. It's from Mallorca and I am obsessed with it. I stopped drinking it for a while because I don't think it's good for me. To be honest, it's not good for me, but it's so good that every month or so I get hooked again. So I'm currently back on and I'll probably be back off of this in a little bit as well, but in the meantime, I thought this would give me a little bit of energy. So if you guys want to grab something to drink yourselves, because I'm not really sure how long this is going to be. Hopefully it's not too long of a video, but I don't have anything planned. So this is probably going to be very like chatty. And yeah, so if you want to go grab a drink or grab a snack or something, we'll enjoy it together. And I'm going to talk to you guys again about how I ended up in Mallorca. Let's get into it. All right, you guys, so for those of you who don't know, I am from LA or Southern California, born and raised there. I have lived in California all my life. Never thought I would ever leave California. I absolutely love California. I love LA. I think if you grow up there, you kind of end up understanding LA a little bit better. And I love the community that I have there. I have my family, my friends, just everything that I've known throughout my entire life has been in California. And I love what California offers. I love the weather. I love the diversity that exists in California. I love the beach. I love the mountains. There's just so much that you can find in Southern California. So basically, loved growing up there. And yeah, I always thought that I would live there my entire life. And I know that California has gone through a lot of changes. And I think ever since like COVID, it's gotten pretty bad, which is really sad to see because like I said, I feel like California is just a beautiful place and there's so much to offer. So it's really sad to see like the homeless situation and how it's gone so bad out there and like the pricing of everything is just super duper expensive. So I just feel like it's a bummer because at the end of the day, California is just a beautiful place and I really hope to see changes there and just improvements in cost of living and also the homeless crisis with the drug problem and all the things, because it's a shame that California is dealing with that, especially being such a beautiful place in the world. So anyways, that's just besides the point, but I just want to add that. So anyways, never thought, oh no, my camera's gonna die. Hold on, guys. So anyways, I thought that I was gonna live in California forever. Before coming here, I was working as a nurse. So for those of you who don't know, I am a registered nurse and I was working in California for a few years. I was living in downtown LA. Really liked it. This was pre-COVID, so downtown LA wasn't as crazy as it now is. I definitely didn't have plans to stay in downtown forever, but I did really enjoy like being in LA. So I thought that at some point in life, I was gonna purchase like maybe a property somewhere in California, just wasn't really sure where exactly. And then 2020 happened, COVID happened. At that time, I was working at a hospital. And then 2021, I actually was laid off from my job, which was kind of crazy and really difficult at the moment because yeah, was not expecting something like that to happen, and it was just a little bit wild. But it ended up actually being the best thing that could have ever happened to me, but at the time it was like pretty shocking. But anyways, yeah, so I was laid off from my job, and basically I was kind of a couple months left to kind of figure out what I wanted to do because, you know, it was just all very sudden and very unexpected. And basically it just caused me to kind of do a lot of introspection and things like that. And because I had a couple months, or I had some time where I was okay in the sense that, you know, unemployment and all the things, I decided to take a little bit of time and figure out what I wanted to do. And although I have always really enjoyed nursing, I have always been someone that has always been very creative and very like fashion forward, and I just love anything that's like interior design, fashion, beauty, like all the things, music, dance, what have you. And even though I really enjoyed nursing, I felt like I never had a chance to like tap into like my creativity and all the things. So with this time, after being laid off my job, I like decided that I would kind of like venture into that, and I ended up actually starting a clothing brand. So it was something that I had always dreamed about doing, and it was always something that I had envisioned in my life, but I just wasn't sure like how it was ever gonna come about because I was living in like healthcare and I was doing healthcare things, and it was just like so like different worlds. But again, it was just always something that I had been passionate about and always something that I had thought about. And so anyways, with this extra time on my hands, I ended up doing that. So I started my own clothing brand, which is called PETUNIA, and it was such a fun experience. It was something that I'm so proud of to this day because I just feel like it was something that I had always dreamed of doing, and it's still like a living, breathing thing that I have. So I'm very proud of it. If you guys are interested in my clothing brand, I'll leave a link down below. And anyways, that's what I was kind of like up to during like 2021, just like building my brand and growing it and things like that. Then at the end of 2021, I believe like my ex-boyfriend and my lease was about to be up. And since I really was like working on my thing online and I didn't have like a stable like job where I had to like actually like go to, and my boyfriend at the time, he also was working like online. So he thought, well, maybe we can like live abroad for a year. And since you're kind of like free to move around and I'm kind of free to move around, this is like the perfect time to do that. And I've always loved to travel. I've traveled since I was very young. My parents always traveled with us when we were little. Thankfully, like my parents just really valued traveling. My mom loves to travel and things like that. So anyways, I've always traveled. I've always loved to travel, and I was really game. So I was like, I have nothing to lose and let's do it. So we ended up deciding like 2021, I believe it was 2021, at the end of 2021, that we were not gonna renew our lease in LA and that we were gonna travel for a year. And anyways, we did that. So I believe that was 2022 that we ended up traveling. So I actually have that all basically filmed because I started doing YouTube at the time, which YouTube had always been something that I had also been interested in for many years before I actually even started. So as I was working as a nurse, like I always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but just was never the right time. I never felt ready. I never ended up doing it, but I felt like this was like the perfect opportunity. We were gonna be traveling, so I could like, you know, film it all for you guys. And then it was something that I could finally like just launch myself into. Like I mentioned, it had always been something that I wanted to do for years and years before, and it was just like the perfect opportunity to do it. So we ended up traveling for a year in 2021. No, 2022. Start of 2022, we ended up traveling. And so I ended up filming that for YouTube. And so if you guys go back, you guys will see like my old YouTube videos. Not really old, they're not that old. But basically I'm like traveling through different countries and I was able to film it. So that was really amazing because it was like the first time that I was actually able to do what I've been wanting to do for so long, which is YouTube. And of course I had Petunia running and all the things, so I was just like really feeling very fulfilled and that I was finally doing the things that I really love to do and things that I really enjoy. Of course it was very scary, of course it was very new because I was literally just starting these things and all the things, but basically I traveled most of the year that year, so 2022 until July. And then in July we ended up coming back to California because we were trying to we had to go for a wedding, and then we needed to kind of figure out where we wanted to go next and all the things. And then we ended up actually breaking up. So my ex-boyfriend and I, we broke up in July, I believe. And so that was pretty shocking to me at the moment, but basically it was also one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. So yeah, so in July, late July, we went back to California. It was time to regroup, and then we ended up breaking up. And then I was kind of left oh my gosh, what do I do? Because my plan was to continue traveling, but then life kind of changed and shifted. But one thing that I really knew and I grew to really know throughout that whole almost year that we were traveling was that I really enjoyed traveling so much, and I really enjoyed doing YouTube. So that was one of the things that I really gained from that whole experience was that, doesn't matter the circumstance, I still want to continue traveling and I still want to continue doing YouTube because I really love both of those things. And so of course I did have to have some time to mentally figure things out because of course it was going through a little bit of a breakup, and so there's things that come with that. And yeah, I took a month to just kind of heal, take time for myself and things like that. And then I really had decided no, I want to continue traveling and I'm gonna do it on my own. So I'm gonna travel by myself. And so that's what I decided in my mind. After this month, I'm gonna keep traveling. And then my parents also had voice that they had wanted to travel. And so since I was already gonna be traveling, I thought, you know what? This is gonna be a perfect opportunity for my parents and I to travel together. So basically that's what we did. In September of 2022, I ended up traveling with my parents for 2 months. We went and visited many countries, and I honestly think it was one of my favorite memories of life, to be able to have been with my parents for 2 months and just been able to travel together to the places that they really wanted to go and see and share those memories with them. And I don't know, it was just beautiful. So we did that, and I also have that for you guys on YouTube, so you guys can go see that. And basically, yeah, so then the 2 months happened where I traveled with my parents. It was amazing. We saw so many places. We visited so many countries. I believe we visited 9 countries in 2 months. It was wild, but it was also so much fun. And I'm so glad that we did that because it's just something that I will forever cherish in my heart. So anyways, you guys, we did that for 2 months. And then it was time for my parents to go back to California, and we actually parted ways in Spain. So we were in Barcelona, and that's where my parents ended up leaving and going back to California, and I ended up staying in Barcelona. And while I was in Barcelona, I was kind of trying to figure out where I want to go next because I really had no plan. In my mind, I kind of had an idea that I was probably wanting to stay in Spain, somewhere in Spain, maybe even hop around throughout Spain for a year. And that was my thought that was gonna happen. So, but I didn't really have a for sure decision on what was gonna happen, where it was gonna go. I thought maybe Barcelona, I would stay in Barcelona, but I wasn't 110% sure. I liked Barcelona, I really did like Barcelona, and we weren't there for too long, so I wasn't really able to see all of Barcelona and really fully grasp it. But I still didn't feel 110% connected to Barcelona the time that I was there. Again, it's not like I was there for a very, very long time, and it's not like I was able to see like the full scope of Barcelona. So I feel like I still have exploring to do for Barcelona. But anyways, basically, I didn't feel like super attached to Barcelona as much as I probably thought I would, even though I thought it was beautiful and I really enjoyed myself. But anyways, during that time that we were in Spain with my parents before they had left, we actually went to dinner one day, and I met these two girls that were like just randomly eating there, and we ended up talking. And anyways, they had kind of like told me like what they're doing. They were like students. We kind of talked about what we were doing and like my plans, like, yeah, I'm thinking about staying, but I'm kind of like plan, no plan. And they were like, well, have you been to Mallorca? Because Mallorca is super beautiful. Like, you should definitely go see it. And I had actually never heard of Mallorca. I know, terrible. I didn't even know it existed. Like, I had no clue. I knew about Ibiza, and I kind of had thoughts about going to Ibiza anyways. So that was actually going to be like my next stop. I was thinking, okay, after Barcelona, I'm going to go to Ibiza just to like kind of see it. But then I spoke to these girls, and they told me about Mallorca, which I didn't even know existed at the time. And so I was like, okay, cool. Like, I will go check that place out too. So that's what I did. So after my parents left, I went to Ibiza, which was really nice. I went in November, so my Ibiza is definitely not the Ibiza that you probably think. It was definitely not partying and things like that. It was just quite the opposite. There was like no one there when I was there, just because I don't think it was like party season. I also was like in a different part of the island. Like, I was more in like the center part, like the port of Ibiza. And I think like most of the big partying is like a little further away. And I didn't have a car or anything like that. So long story short, definitely wasn't partying in Ibiza, but it was really nice. It was what I needed. I spent like maybe like 4 days there. And then I booked a ticket to go to Mallorca. So when I went to Mallorca, I had zero expectations of like what to expect. I had no idea what to expect. I booked an Airbnb, and that was it. And I booked the Airbnb for 2 weeks. So I went from Ibiza to Mallorca, and you guys, when I tell you that the moment that I got on the bus to go from the airport into Palma, which is like the city center of Mallorca, and like I was blown away that this place existed. It was so beautiful to me. There was the beautiful ocean, and then you see the beautiful cathedral, and then you just see this like beautiful city. It was just like, I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe that this place existed. And yeah, I just felt really good there. Like, the energy felt good. Like, I felt very safe there. And yeah, I was like the happiest girl in the world. Ended up going to my Airbnb, loved it and everything. So I ended up staying 2 weeks, but 2 weeks really felt like too short of a time. Like, I just wanted to stay there. Like, something in me was just like, I know that you should probably go and see other things because this was your plan to like travel Spain and see more things and things like that. But I just felt so at home in Mallorca. The place was so beautiful. Like, it was just so beautiful. I felt really safe and comfortable and cozy there. So I ended up extending my Airbnb for 2 more weeks. So then I was there like 1 whole month, and I loved it. I would walk around everywhere, and I just like enjoyed being there. I feel like for the most part, Mallorca feels and is really safe. It's also very beautiful. It's also very walkable. Like, if you're in the city center, you don't need a car for anything. Public transportation is also very easy here. So you just get on a bus, and it's usually €5, and it'll take you to like the other parts of the island that are really beautiful, like Deià, Sawyer, Valldemossa, and things like that. So all like the places that you want to see, you can get to just by taking a bus from the center to these places. So like transportation's really easy. You can walk everywhere. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I have everything that I need like here. It reminded me a lot of Southern California, which I feel like if Mallorca didn't feel a lot like home to me, it would definitely not work out, just because I do feel like I'm very attached to like good weather. I feel like I am very attached to like the beach, like the ocean. I feel like I'm just like that type of personality. I think if I were somewhere like super duper cold or really, really dark or things like that, it probably wouldn't work as well. But it just really reminded me of Southern California. And yeah, so I just felt very, very comfortable here. So after those second 2 weeks, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to leave. So I ended up staying 1 more month. Like I renewed my like Airbnb stay 1 more month. And I was just so happy to do it. I started taking dance classes. I started like doing the things that I really, really enjoyed, which is dancing. I started taking singing lessons. I just felt like the happiest girl in the world. I was just like, I couldn't believe this place existed. I couldn't believe that I could feel so comfortable and happy in a place that was like far away from my home, which is California. But I really felt like, even though I am kind of far away from California, like it doesn't feel that way just because I feel so connected to California in a way, which is really strange. But anyways, that's just kind of how I felt. And then anyways, it was like the 2-month mark. It was like time for me to like figure out what to do because I had already been in Mallorca for 2 months, and it was kind of like, all right, well, you've already seen it, you've seen all the things, and now you should probably keep going. You should probably go travel to Madrid. You should probably go see other things in Spain because that's the whole point. You're supposed to be traveling like Spain for a year and you're not doing it. You're not leaving. And yeah, so that was kind of like what my mind was telling me, like, all right, you're not wasting time, but like, okay, you've already seen this place, like why are you staying here? Like you should keep going. So I actually had like a booked Airbnb in Portugal because I actually thought about going to Portugal for a bit and had that all booked out. I already had an Airbnb. I don't think I had my flights booked yet, but I already had like an Airbnb booked. Because I was like, okay, 2 months, like you should probably go. And I think like a week before I was like set to leave Mallorca, I went out dancing because if you know me, you know that I love to dance. And anyways, one night my friend and I, which I met a friend here, we ended up meeting through that same Airbnb. She was renting out a room and I was as well, so we were like neighbors. And we ended up getting to know each other, and so we would hang out as well. So that was kind of like another thing that I was like, oh my gosh, I already have like a friend here. Like this is really awesome. Like I feel so comfortable here. I have friends. Like I have my dance stuff. I have like all these like little roots that I've started to build. But one night that friend and I decided to go out dancing because I think it was the last like weekend that I was gonna be in Mallorca. And there was this one club that doesn't exist anymore, but it was called, what is it called? Social. It was called Social, and it was a club that I had been wanting to go to ever since I came to Mallorca because it just like because it looked really, really nice. And anyways, we ended up going out because we were like, okay, this is the last weekend and I really wanted to go to this place that I hadn't been to yet. So I was like, let's go. So we ended up going to this club Social, and it turns out to be closed. So the club that we really, really wanted to go to ended up not even being open, which we probably should have checked beforehand, but we didn't. So anyways, our plans kind of changed, and we ended up landing at another club, which is called Luna. And it was actually one of my favorite clubs. It was very small, like nothing crazy, but I just loved the music there and things like that. It was just like a fun place to be. And lo and behold, I ended up meeting my now boyfriend there. So I ended up meeting this guy who was Spanish, and we hit it off, and it was actually really, really crazy because, you know, I was supposed to be leaving, and then I met him, and he just seemed like a really, really great guy. And I still was kind of like debating, like, should I leave? Like, should I stay? Not because of him at that point. It was just because of like the fact that I felt so good in Mallorca. Like I truly did feel so good here. But like a part of me was like, you need to keep going. But then like an inner part of my heart was like, oh, you love this place, like don't go. And then I met this guy and I was like, okay, you really don't want to leave Mallorca because you love it. Then you meet this guy who's like pretty great, and I started realizing like, oh my gosh, this guy is really great. And Anyways, and I wasn't really able to find any other place at the time. So like I was looking into going to Barcelona for a little bit, and then I was looking into maybe going to Madrid. And even though I still had like that Airbnb booked in Portugal, like I was kind of like debating whether I wanted to go there anyways, and if I just like kind of wanted to stay in Spain a little while longer before going to Portugal. So anyways, I had like options, but nothing was really like coming through. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna stay a little while longer. So I ended up renewing my Airbnb for like, I think another month. And then basically I realized that this guy was gonna be like a really big part of my life, because he was just like someone that, yeah, it just like, we really did click. And I feel like I manifested him, you guys. Like I truly feel like I manifested my boyfriend. And that could be like a story for another time. If you guys are interested, just leave me a comment down below if you guys want to hear that story. But anyways, basically that's kind of how I ended up staying in Mallorca. Really fell in love with Mallorca. I really fell in love with the culture here. I love the slower pace of life that there is here. And that was something that I kind of truly realized that was so nice during that time of my life, because, and this was almost 2 years ago, you guys. So almost 2 years ago. So I've been in Mallorca now for almost 2 years. It'll be 2 years in November. So yeah, it was just like such a nice change of pace, because coming from California, I was very used to like go, always rushing from here to there to there to there, and just like, and I'm very used to it, and I almost feel like it's second nature to me, and I can bounce back and be in that craziness, hustle and bustle like in an instant. But it was just really nice and refreshing to be in a place where I just feel like things just go a little bit slower. I could kind of just like take it a little bit easy. People aren't as rushed. There's a little bit more of just like a sense of enjoying your life here, good quality of life. Like people here of all ages really do take time to do the things that they enjoy. They go to the gym at all ages. They do things that really make them happy, like pottery. At all ages, you'll see people doing yoga, woodworking. Like people are really into like doing their hobbies. People catch up over coffee. People take their siestas. People move like at a very, like a different pace. And that doesn't mean that people aren't working, because people are working a lot. It's just that they do take, it's just a little bit slower pace of life. And for me, that was really nice and refreshing, especially like during the time that I came and like where I was in my life. And I was kind of in a place of like really needing and wanting to like slow down and just like be with myself and be with like my feelings, and really just like slow down and appreciate life. And that's what I was able to like really do here. And I love the people here. I feel like the people of Mallorca are really good people. I feel like it may take a while to like gain their trust, just because, you know, if they don't know you, they might not be like super open books. But I feel like once you get to know people of Mallorca, I feel like from the get-go, they're nice people and they're very helpful people. Once you get to know them more, I feel like you see like the warmth, and they're very kind, generous, loving people. And I don't know, I just feel very at home here more than anything. I feel very at home here. And I feel like it's just something that people feel. Like I feel like some people feel this way when they travel to France, or some people feel this way when they travel to Amsterdam, or when they travel to Thailand. It's like, you can't really explain why certain people are drawn to certain places, but there's just something about them for whatever reason. And I feel like that really did happen to me with Mallorca. I also enjoy that it's like a very Latin culture. Being that I am Latin, I speak the language, and I feel like that's something that's also helped me a lot. Almost every single day I speak Spanish. I rarely speak English in Spain. My boyfriend speaks English, so him and I will speak in English and in Spanish together. And then I speak in English with you guys because we're connected like that. But yeah, I mainly speak Spanish, which I actually really enjoy because it helps me with my Spanish. And then it also just like, it makes me also feel closer to like my family, because within my family, we speak Spanish. And so I've always gravitated towards like that Latin vibe. I just love it so much. I love my parents so much, and I love like the culture, like my Latin heritage so much, that it's like really nice to be like in that Latin vibe. I really like it personally. And yeah, I like the Latin culture. I like the romance of things. And so I just feel like Mallorca was just definitely a very, very good fit for me for many reasons. I didn't even know this place existed. I had zero plans of moving here and like living my life here, but I just feel like sometimes things happen in life that you never expect to happen, and they just work out way better than you could have even imagined. And I feel like that's the circumstance with me with Mallorca. It just ended up being something that happened really organically. I fell in love with this place. I met someone who ended up being like very important to me, and is now someone that I see my future with and my life with. And so you never know what could happen when you travel abroad for a year, and then, you know, you never know. Now, that doesn't mean that I will never be connected to California, because I do want to be in both places. So like every year I take time to be in California, and that is a big, big, big priority for me. So in my life, I don't see myself only being in Mallorca. I definitely see myself being in both places. And that's something that's really strong on my heart, because I have family there. I also feel like work is gonna be something that's gonna be bigger there as well. And so that's definitely just something that I would really, really enjoy, to have both of those places just like be like work together. So yeah, you guys, that's basically what brought me to Mallorca. It was something that was very unexpected, but it was, I think, what the universe had for me, what God had for me. And I'm very, very grateful for it. It's actually really interesting because like lately I've been thinking about how I haven't really talked to you guys about like this type of stuff yet. And I think it's because I've been kind of like assimilating, or like it's taken me a little while without even like thinking about it. It's like it takes a little bit of time to like kind of like settle in a place. And I feel like I'm like getting to that place where I feel like, okay, I'm settled here. But it's taken me a little bit of time to get there. You know, at first everything is so new and exciting, and then I think that happens for a while, like there's new and exciting things happening. And I think now, like finally I'm starting to feel like things are getting more settled, I'm getting more settled in, and I'm gonna start doing more things like as a person of like a Mallorcan person, which I'm actually really excited about, because there are things like going to the dentist, like going to get like a health checkup and things like that. Things that like I haven't really done for 2 years. I feel like I've just kind of like been someone that's here, but like I haven't really immersed myself into like society truly. Like I feel like I have, but then like there's a lot of aspects that I haven't yet, and I'm like barely finally feeling like, okay, I'm like becoming a member of society here. And so this is gonna be like an exciting point, and I feel like this is like a perfect time to do this video, because I feel like I've finally gotten to a point, and I'm getting to a point where it's like, okay, I'll be able to share more things, random, but like more real life stuff. For example, not that this is exciting, but you guys will be able to get my experience at the dentist. You guys will be able to come with me when I have like doctor's appointments, and I'll be learning more about Mallorcan society now that I'll be able to do more things as like a member of society. Because I haven't even gotten like my driver's license here, you know, like all the things that make people members of a society. I haven't really gotten to those things yet, and I'm starting to get there. And so that's gonna be an exciting part that I'll be able to share with you guys, and I'm just excited about in general, just to like feel more of like, you know, like a member of society. And yeah, it'll be like fun to take you guys along with me and show you guys that side of things as well, because it's a process, and I feel like I've never immigrated to a country. I've never moved to a different country in my entire life. So I don't really know how things are supposed to look. It's just like kind of my experience. But yeah, I feel like it's taken me this long to kind of just like even settle in, experience it, enjoy it. And now it's kind of like I'm moving on to like a next step where, or like a next season where it's like, okay, now you're starting to become a member of society. I'm gonna get a little bus pass and like things like that. And that's gonna just like be fun for me. So I'm excited to take you guys with me on that journey, because I feel like this is like kind of like where I am now, and that's gonna be like the next step, the next season of this journey. So yeah, you guys, I hope that that made sense. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, leave them in the comment section. If you guys found this to be at all helpful to you guys, let me know. This video wasn't so much like tips and tricks about like what to do when you move to a different country. Like I said, I'm still like in the process of like settling in, and I will learn more with time. And I think that's another reason why I didn't film this for you guys and put this up earlier, just because I feel like I've been living it and kind of figuring things out and, you know, whatever. So I feel like everything comes at the right moment. But yeah, this is just kind of like my story about how I ended up moving to Mallorca. So anyways, you guys, I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's video. I hope that I was able to explain my story well for you guys, because that's kind of what happened. Very unexpected, but I really love Mallorca. I think it's one of the most beautiful places on the planet. Like I said, it reminds me a lot of California. And yeah, I'm really thankful to be here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, again, like it. Also, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any videos from me. I love you guys all so much. Thank you guys so much for your support and your love and your comments. It means the absolute world to me. And I'll see you guys in the next video.